Okay, so for this video, this is going to help with questions 16 through 20. This is like the big deal we've been building up to the whole time. So now we have to graph both of these lines and then identify where they meet, identify the system. So I'm going to start by graphing this one. Oh, come on. I'm going to start by graphing this one. Now, if you remember, our y-intercept is 4. So we go here to the 4. And our slope is -1/2. So remember, you can either assign the negative to the top, right, and go down 1/2 to the right, down 1/2, or you could have assigned it to the bottom, which would be rise 1 backward 2. So you're still on the same line there, hopefully. Ooh. Now, it's not required, but when you're graphing systems, it's useful to just kind of keep it going like I did, like have a couple points. It'll help you see the solution much better. Let me change my color a bit for this next one. Okay, now I'm going to graph this guy. My y-intercept is -1, so I start there. And my slope is 2. Now remember, when you have a slope that's just a regular number and it's not a fraction, you need a rise over run. So we're going to have to stick this thing over 1. Okay, so we rise 2 and run 1 to the right. Rise 2, run 1. Oh, look, overlap. There we go. Ooh. So that's one part. That's the first part of the problem. And the second part is identifying the solution, which is where those two lines meet. So your final answer. So forget all this stuff. Your final answer is that point at which they meet. Now remember, it is confusing because slope is rise over run, but coordinates are x first, right? Over 2, and then 3. So your final answer is 2, 3. That's where those 2 points meet. I know this all seems weird, but this is huge in economics. So if you ever want a job making a ton of money in finance, this is where it's at. Okay, here we go. I'm going to graph this one. Oh, man, my kids were watching Frozen last night, and it's just stuck in my head. Okay, anyway, I'm going to graph this line. Okay, it's y equals x minus 4. I'm writing it out because the slope, well, whatever. So the -4, that's my y-intercept. Cool, so there I go. I'm there at -4. When I have a slope that's like not identified, there's nothing there, there's no coefficients, which is fancy for number in front of letter, I'm going to put 1. But it's still not quite enough, right? You need a rise over run. So we're going to make it 1/1 because 1/1 is still just 1. So I'm going to rise 1, run 1. And I'm going to keep it going because it is very helpful when you're graphing systems to have more than one dot so you can really see what's going on. Yay! Let's see, how's this eraser? It's kind of okay. I should have paused the video while I was erasing, but I didn't. So there you go. Blue. Okay, let's do blue for this one. My y-intercept is +2. Awesome. My slope is -2. So I'm going to stick that over 1 because I'm not really changing anything mathematically. -2 divided by 1 is still just -2. I didn't change anything. But now I have a rise over run. Now my rise is negative. So that means I'm not really rising as much as I am falling. Down 2, positive direction 1. If you need help graphing lines, there are a ton of videos. I'm always available for tutoring, but we have spent about a month graphing lines, which is why I'm going kind of quick. Okay, so it's my, there it is. There it is. So your final answer here is 2, right? Because it's an xy coordinate, 2, -2. So that would be your final answer.